My name is Gregory Hamilton, and this is The Highway to Heaven in 88 Steps. And today is day 63, and we just keep moving forward. Every single day we ask ourselves that question. It's not just a simple question, it's a very difficult question. What is it that I want to do with my God-given life? And what is it that God wants me to do with my God-given life? And every day, when we stop and think and focus on this and manifest it and take that brick and put it in our notebooks, our notebook is changing. When we first started, it was nice and crisp and clean and blank. And then we opened it and manifested it, and we thought about changing. And we have changed our physical notebook. And because of that, we are physically changing ourselves. It's impossible to deny this. Is this not correct? You might even see some of the people in your circle, be it family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, whatever the case, strangers, yourself, your employee, starting to see these changes. And when things change, sometimes it feels good and sometimes it feels bad. And sometimes it's going to help you and sometimes it's going to feel like it's pushing you back, right? Okay, so it's real important to constantly keep having that focus of what you are doing and how you see yourself, not how others see yourself. Because if we do that, well, they might not always have the same support or same vision or same hopes that you do. Somebody that wants to go surfing doesn't see this fear of going out there, but somebody that doesn't know how to swim does not want to go to the beach and watch you go surfing. It would scare them to death watching you have a great time, right? So it's how you see yourself is how everything manifests itself in the future. I'll use two examples. There was a company 100 years ago, they're still around, called Sears Roebuck and Company. And they had this really great idea of taking a notebook and putting every single thing in their notebook and then distributing it around the nation. And then no matter where you were in the world, you could just pick something, order it, and it would be literally sent to your house. This was 100 years ago. Well, about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when the internet first showed up, for whatever reasons, they did not see themselves growing into the future. You know, they started before, like, I believe the Pony Express. You know what I'm talking about? This is before telephones. They were already sending products to your house when you wanted them. And then when all the technology came along and you could instantly get it to your house the next day, they decided, we see ourselves already at our fullest potential. Well, and then their story is now, they're still around, they're still hanging out, but they're not, they could have had Google, Amazon, you know, all that type of businesses. They could have owned all that. Not, I'm thinking the monopoly is a great idea. So let's now use this in our own personal life. When you're going surfing, okay, it's up to you. You have to be able to go into that environment by yourself and do it, okay? If when we go out as friends and go surfing, how you see yourself and how they see themselves is going to be completely different. When I'm kind of getting sidetracked because, you know, I've seen times when you're out there surfing and it's called a tombstone, and somebody takes a crash and you're right there next to them and they're in the impact zone and you're trying to get out there because you can. They might not be able to on the beach, but you can, and you're out there and you see someone next to you that's gotten crashed and the waves taking them all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, and they get stuck down under a rock or a ledge, reef, knocked out. And their surfboard is sitting at the top of the surface, and their leash on the bottom of the back of the surfboard is being held down by the body below the water. And then all you really see is the surfboard tip just waving, you know, above the surface. And it does look like a tombstone. And there's nothing you can do. You can't go and put yourself in the danger zone to help somebody else and have yourself die. And that's what life is. You're constantly going to be in those danger zones. When you become and start living your life, an entrepreneur, a student, whatever your path is, you're going to fail out there. Nothing lasts forever. You don't last forever, so why would anything that you start or create or do, why would you expect it to last forever? But what your job is to do is to take care of yourself when those things happen, when the change does happen. 2 seconds before this gentleman is down below the water, he was having a great time, wonderful time, enjoying life. Chose and picked a wave, went and accidents happened, and he went down to the bottom. Well, I talked to this man on the beach that day later on, and as the circle gathered around him and were listening to his story, he was down for 2 waves. That board was 2 waves. This is a long time underwater. And that's what he said, is that he had to remember that he was a free diver, a person that goes under the water and catches fish and swims underneath there and holds his breath and just is real calm and stays down under the water for a long time. And he says, at first, when that first wave came, you know, he's like, said, I was scared and stuff, but when that next wave came, he goes, oh, super scared. But then he goes, I had to remember, if I was lobster hunting, I could stay down here forever. And that's what he did. He calmed himself down, let the wave go back over. As soon as the pressure kind of released, he released his leash, swam back up. Very lucky man. We get lucky when we chase our dreams, and we get sometimes taken to the bottom to remember that you do want to be out there and you have to fight for this, and that you know that there is no safe place anywhere in life. So go out and chase your dreams. And change with the times. Don't let the others then tell you you're going to drown out there surfing. It happens. But they were doing their thing. Maybe that's better than just the prison of a bigger big gulp and a bigger remote control and a bigger TV. It's going to be up to you how you fill your notebook and how you want to live your lives. But when you go out there and do charge it and go for your life, there's always going to be a risk reward or a nice big couch for you to sit on. I pray for you. And I pray for America.